On Sunday, April 13th, a reporter asked President Trump directly, "Will gas prices be lower before the November midterm elections?" His answer? "I hope so. I think so. It could be, or the same, or maybe a little bit higher." The President of the United States just told you on live television that gas prices might stay the same or go higher for the rest of 2026. This is not a political statement. This is a financial one. And it means that if you haven't adjusted your budget for a world where gas costs $4 or more per gallon, you need to start right now. Unleaded gas prices have risen more than $1.20 per gallon since the Iran war began, to a national average of $4.12. Before the war started, Americans were paying under $3 per gallon. Today, I'm giving you the full picture. Why this is happening, why it won't resolve quickly, what it's doing to your grocery bill and everything else you buy, and the exact moves you need to make to protect your household budget right now. Let me give you the real numbers across the country right now, because the national average doesn't tell the whole story depending on where you live. As of April 9th, the national average for a gallon of regular gasoline was $4.16. The last time the national average reached that price was in early August of 2022, and the trajectory has been almost straight up since February. As of early April, the national average price of a regular gallon stood at $4.06, with many states experiencing a 33% year-over-year increase. California leads the nation, with regular gas reaching $5.89 per gallon. Diesel costs increased by over 60% in several states, including Arizona, South Carolina, Nevada, Texas, and North Carolina. The nationwide average diesel price increased 50.2% since last year, from $3.62 to $5.43. Let me make those diesel numbers real for you. Diesel isn't just for trucks. FedEx is charging a 26.5% fuel surcharge on ground and home deliveries. The U.S. Postal Service has added an 8% fee on some packages. Amazon and airlines have announced similar surcharges. Every package you order online, every item on a store shelf that had to be trucked there, every flight you book, all of it is getting a fuel surcharge added on top. And those costs are quietly landing in your wallet whether you fill up a car or not. Gas prices are the top concern for American adults, with 86% saying they are concerned about the price of gas going forward, slightly ahead of household bills and groceries at 85%. In fact, 25% of respondents are extremely concerned about the cost of gas, the highest level of extreme worry among all concerns surveyed. Here's why this matters so deeply. Gas is not a luxury. You can cancel Netflix, you can skip a vacation. You cannot not drive to work, to the doctor, to the grocery store. Gas is a fixed cost of living that hits every single American, and unlike a cable bill, you can't call and negotiate it lower. Now let me explain why the hope for quick relief at the pump is probably false, and why even optimistic scenarios still mean $4 plus gas for months. Tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has plunged due to the threat of Iranian attacks, triggering what analysts are calling the largest oil supply disruption in history. About 20% of global oil supplies passed through the waterway before the US and Israel attacked Iran on February 28th. Even with the fragile ceasefire technically still in place, the US naval blockade of Iranian ports is now fully implemented, completely cutting off Tehran's international sea trade that powers about 90% of its economy. The blockade involves more than 10,000 US troops, over a dozen Navy ships, and fighter jets in the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. Here is the critical piece that most financial media glosses over. Even if a peace deal were announced tomorrow, and there is currently no deal, the physical reality of oil markets means prices would not fall immediately back to $3. Experts say it will be many months before prices stabilize, even if the conflict stops. The ceasefire has already brought some relief, pulling prices back below $100 from the peak of $120 per barrel in March, with the current national average for gas at $4.15, according to AAA. Think about what has to happen even after a peace deal. Oil tankers have to be rerouted and resumed. Insurance rates for those tankers, which tripled in Q1 2026, have to come back down. Refineries have to ramp back up. Then wholesale prices have to drop. Then that has to work its way through to the retail pumps. Oil analysts have a phrase for this: up like a rocket, down like a feather. Prices spike in days, they recover in months. The International Monetary Fund on Tuesday cut its global growth forecast to 3.1% for 2026, warning the world was drifting toward an adverse scenario where oil prices could stay around $100 per barrel. The IMF is not prone to panic. When they cut global growth forecasts and warn of adverse scenarios, that is a serious signal. Budget accordingly. Here's the part of this story that doesn't make it onto gas price signs, but hits your wallet just as hard. The invisible fuel cost embedded in everything you buy. When diesel is up 50%, every truck on every highway in America is more expensive to operate. And there are a lot of trucks. Roughly 70% of all freight in the United States moves by truck. That means every product in every store, every box of cereal, every head of lettuce, every bottle of shampoo, every piece of clothing had to be transported there by a vehicle whose fuel bill just went up dramatically. FedEx alone is charging a 26.5% fuel surcharge. The USPS added 8%. Amazon added surcharges. Airlines have raised fares and introduced new checked bag fees. It will take months for the higher energy prices, along with plastics, packaging, and similar costs, to flow into the core inflation rate, said Peter Bukvar of 1 Point BFG Wealth Partners. This is why the March CPI report showed inflation at 3.3%, even though grocery prices haven't fully reflected the war yet. The food price increases are still coming. Economists warn that food prices, travel costs, and shipping costs are all going up in April and will exacerbate the pain. The inflationary effects of the war will likely take several weeks or months to fully unwind, and a prolonged conflict risks raising consumer prices broadly into food, airfare, and manufactured goods. For the average American household, the financial math is brutal. At the current national average gas price, it costs $12.91 to drive 100 miles if your car gets 25 miles per gallon. If you drive 15,000 miles per year, which is roughly average, that's $1,936 in gas annually at $4.15 per gallon. Before the war, at $2.97 per gallon, that same driving cost $1,782. That's an extra $154 per year just from the pump, before you count the fuel surcharges baked into every package, every grocery, and every flight. I don't want to just scare you with numbers. I want to give you the actual tactical playbook for protecting your household finances in a $4 plus dollar gas environment. These are specific, actionable moves. Move 1. Gas credit card arbitrage. Most Americans don't realize that using the right credit card at the pump can effectively give you a 3 to 5% discount on every gallon. Cards like the Costco Anywhere Visa give 4% cash back on gas. The Sam's Club MasterCard gives 5% back. The PenFed Platinum Rewards Visa gives 5% back. If you're spending $200 a month on gas, 5% cash back is $10 per month, or $120 per year. That's money the oil companies keep if you pay with a debit card or cash. Don't let them have it. Move 2. Use GasBuddy or Gas Guru to find the cheapest station near you. These free apps show real-time prices at every gas station in your area. Gas prices vary by as much as 40 to 50 cents per gallon, even within the same neighborhood, especially in high-tax states. Within states, prices vary enormously by region. Driving 3 blocks to a cheaper station before a fill-up is not paranoia, it's math. Move 3. Recalibrate your grocery shopping strategy for a fuel surcharge world. Amazon has now added fuel surcharges, and FedEx is charging 26.5% more for delivery. This changes the math on online shopping versus in-store shopping. For heavy or bulky items, water, laundry detergent, pet food, buying in-store or at Costco/Sam's Club may now be cheaper than Amazon delivery with the surcharge added. Do the math before you hit add to cart. Move 4. Batch your errands ruthlessly. Every unnecessary car trip right now is a gas bill. Make a weekly master errand list and do everything in a single loop. Doctor appointment, grocery store, pharmacy, post office, planned in geographic order. This sounds basic, but the average American makes 3 to 4 solo errand trips per week that could be combined into one. At $4 plus dollars per gallon, that habit change can save $20 to $40 per month. Move 5. If you're a 2-car household, default to the more fuel-efficient car. Check your car's MPG ratings. If one gets 28 MPG and one gets 18 MPG, the 10 MPG difference at $4.15 per gallon saves you 14.6 cents per mile. Over 12,000 miles per year of shared driving, that's $1,752 saved annually. Not hypothetical, real math. Move 6. Re-examine your commute economics. Remote work negotiations, 4-day work weeks, carpooling with a coworker. All of these become financially compelling when gas is $4 plus. If carpooling saves you 200 miles per week of solo driving, that's roughly $33 per week, $1,716 per year back in your pocket. Ask your employer. Ask your coworker. The worst they can say is no. Before I wrap up, I want to connect today's gas price story to something that affects Social Security recipients specifically, because these two stories are deeply linked. Your 2027 Social Security cost of living adjustment, the raise you'll receive starting January 2027, is determined by the CPIW inflation reading in July, August, and September 2026. Independent analyst Mary Johnson has already revised her 2027 COLA estimate up to 3.2% after the March CPI report, up sharply from just 1.2% 2 months ago. With oil back above $4 at the pump and the blockade ongoing, the Q2 inflation data, April, May, June, is going to come in hot. If that heat carries through into the Q3 measurement window, your 2027 COLA could exceed 3.2%, potentially pushing toward 3.5% or even higher. But here's the honest truth. A higher COLA is not a gift. It is compensation for living through higher prices. If gas costs you $1,400 more per year in 2026, and your COLA gives you an extra $800 in benefits, you are still $600 behind on net. That's why the financial moves I gave you in this video matter so much. Don't wait for a COLA to rescue you. Protect your budget today. Trump himself said gas prices may be the same or maybe a little bit higher through the rest of the year. Plan around reality, not hope. Here is today's bottom line. Gas is over $4 per gallon nationally. Diesel is up 50%. Every product you buy has fuel costs baked in. The blockade is ongoing. The president says no relief is guaranteed before November. And the IMF is warning of $100 oil as an extended scenario. Your moves. Get a gas cashback credit card, use Gas Buddy, batch your errands, drive your efficient car, and rethink delivery versus in-store shopping. Small changes that add up to hundreds of dollars saved over the next few months. This channel is here every single day to translate financial news into real moves for real people. If this video helped, hit like and subscribe right now. Drop your state in the comments. Tell me what you're paying for gas today. I read every comment and I'll acknowledge your state in tomorrow's video. See you tomorrow.